Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kristen Davies, and I am a trainer with Can-Am Systems. Today's session that I will be presenting will be walking through some of the changes and updates that we've made to the job management area within Proven Job Management. Changes that have taken place over the course of the last year or so. Some of the housekeeping items that I want to talk about before we get started. The Zoom format. All of our attendees will be muted during the course of this session to minimize any background noise. We recommend that you turn your video off during the session. To hear the presentation, you must either dial in to the recorded session or use your computer audio. All of our sessions will be recorded. They will be made available via Dropbox once the conference concludes. We will also be including a PDF outline of what was covered. These will be made available via bulk mailer and also on our video library. And lastly, any questions that you may have during the session, please feel free to use the chat box. All of those questions will be answered. If we run out of time, I will address those questions when the session wraps. If you don't get a question in during the session and do have, you can send an email to our support team, support@canamsys.com. So our agenda today, we're going to, again, like I said, talk about the security updates and ads. I'm also going to touch on merged documents, related relationships, and then have our general Q&A at the end. Some of the updated features that I'm going to talk about today are changes to dates display, adding internal relationships on the job screen, auto-filling a salesperson when an employee is associated to a company or contact. Also going to talk briefly about alternative status. Configuring your job lookup screen to show columns that you, as the individual logged in, want to see. Other items such as checking for duplicate companies on Job Create, the restricted company type, email notifications and workflow deployment, and I'll also touch on notifications and workflows, merged documents, and related relationships. Now I'm going to dive right into our session. First on our list, we want to talk about dates and how you can choose to either display all dates available on a job or minimize and only have the one choose from a drop-down. In company settings, displaying all dates on job is selected. When I go into my job, I will now see all of my dates. If I choose to deselect and come back into my dates tab, you will have the drop-down menu option to choose the dates as needed. Auto-filling your salesperson on your companies or contacts, going into a company record, choosing your salesperson. Anytime your company or contact are added to a job file, our salesperson will be automatically filled in. For those customers using our proven CRM, this will be beneficial to you so that that salesperson will be recorded as the relationship owner for that company record. The alternative status is another way to identify your job outside of our current statuses of open, closed, or lost. You can create a status and tie it to a date. You could also tie it back to a lost code. You also have the ability to create a log note from that alternative status when on your job. You have the ability to set your company's business days of work, setting up the days of the week, and what would be your start and end time. We also have the ability to add holidays to our schedule. Creating a holiday to our schedule by simply clicking on Edit the Holiday and adding in those specific holidays. We also have the ability to add calendar statuses. Calendar statuses used on our schedule feature can help you readily identify what the status is of a scheduled event. Job notifications allow the user to send out from a single date type a notification, whether it to be an internal employee or an external contact. We have the ability to pull in job information from our job file by creating a log note template, which will pull in information from our job. Workflows are your compliance feature. The workflows run from 2 dates, or job info, or job attachments. So you would have your starting trigger and an ending trigger, and you would identify the number of days we must react to satisfy our workflow. Another feature that we added to the job create is the ability to add our employee types from the job create screen. In your company settings, under jobs, you would choose the employee type and choose the display on job creation by group. So when we've selected up to 4, I can now go into my job on the job create screen and note that I already have a drop-down option to select. And when I create my job, I will see those relationships automatically on my job file. Some other enhancements. We have the ability to set a default log note topic. Anytime a user creates a log note, the topic as set here will automatically be defaulted. We also have the ability to check for duplicate companies. We can do this by checking for a duplicate name or the name and the address. This will be beneficial when we're creating our jobs that we don't duplicate our customers. Bear in mind that the name and or address must match exactly in order for this to work. Another item that we added was restricted company type. I can identify in here what company type, when added to a company record, will be restricted from editing, viewing, creating, or deleting. So if I don't want anybody to be able to create, edit, delete, or view the insurance type as an example, on my role, I can restrict it. This will save you anybody creating and editing types that you do not want. Another feature that we added this year is our Matterport integration. For those of you that are using Matterport, this is a 3D option for uploading your visuals on your job file. When you've uploaded your Matterport, you can actually come in and start reviewing and looking at your loss. We also added a feature where users have the ability to configure their job lookup columns. Simply going into user settings, and this is for the user who is logged in, I can come into the jobs area, click on configure job lookup columns, and select the columns that I want to see on my job lookup screen. Another feature that we added was mail merge. Here we have the ability to create a merged document that we can pull onto our job file and pull information from our job file and then email that merged document out. You'll see the welcome letter allowing me to pull in my job name and address, city. I have the body of my email or my merged letter. I can also pull in relationship information such as my estimator, my project manager. The formatting is very similar to what you would see in Word. You can make all of the changes that you want as far as formatting is concerned. When I come into the mail merge area, this is where I would insert my fields as I start building my merged document. I have a number of fields to choose from. I simply would make my selection and hit insert. Once that document is added into my company settings, I can now pull it onto my job file. I am currently in my job for Cambridge Property Management, and it has pulled the information from my job file. I can change and create this as a PDF on my job. And once I've created it as a PDF, I now have the ability to attach this document in my notes. Once I've completed my log note and selected my recipients, I have the ability to email that out. Related relationships is a new addition. It's not a new addition, it's a change that we made. Previously, the related relationships option was only available for customers that were using our property site feature, property management feature. We've now changed that, so now it can be for customers who do not use the property management site feature. And the way the related relationships work is I have my company record. I can add these related relationships by simply coming into my company dropdown and selecting. I also have the ability to add the contact records as well. And the benefit to this is previously you had to add it in both areas. So for instance, if I was looking at my customer Jones Plumbing, I will also see my Roehampton. So if I go back and look up Jones Plumbing, I will now see my Roehampton. And the benefit to this is its reduction in the number of clicks, adding it in both areas. Also, this will be available to be added when you add any one of your related relationships to your job file. You will be able to see them. You don't have to actually add them manually. What's coming in 2020? We are moving the work orders down to the job file in a new tab. We are moving the schedule feature to the job file. And we're moving equipment to the job file as a new tab. We are also going to be releasing the ability to set predefined employee types when required on jobs. This will show the user what spots are missing when it comes to the employee types required on a job. Very similar to those that are using our desktop program. That information will now be displayed, what's missing in the web. There are a number of questions that have been added to our chat box. All right, our first question. Will there be an option for DocuSketch integration similar to Matterport? Yes, there will. There will be a integration option for those that will be using that feature. Next part of that question was, when will merged docs have more mail merged options? Basic information such as insurance, parent is not mergeable. That's a very good question. I'm not sure where the development items are as far as the merged documents are concerned, but I can definitely find out and come back to you. Another question asked about the mail merge documents. Will there be an ability to auto send out instead of a manual add? Another really great question. I will have to follow up with our development team. Another question on our merged documents, a very popular topic today. Will it be able to insert a signature area in the merged document? Again, this will be an item that I'll have to go back to our development team to see the what their ideas are as far as enhancing the merged document feature. Another question, I don't have the related relationship option. Do I need to add to the role? In your role, you should that should already be, when you create a new customer, the related relationships option should already be available. I can come back to you if you're not seeing that. Another question, when are the new changes for the work order scheduling equipment going to be added to the job file? It's my understanding that by later this year, those options will be put onto the job file. Currently, it is a work in progress. They are working on it. There are just a number of security items that they need to make sure work, because we will have permissions for those people that do want to or not see those work orders, schedule, and equipment. Question, can you include documents via job notifications? Within the job notification setup right now, you can certainly create a document such as a thank you letter or welcome letter. Please fill out my customer survey. So that will automatically go out to your customer based on a date. So I could put in my job notification and actual completion date, choose my recipient as my customer, and that email will go out with your letter. But attaching it with another document within, we don't have that functionality at this time. Any more questions from the floor? Again, if you think of a question after the session wraps, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team, support@canamsys.com. The recordings will be available to you along with our slideshow presentation. If there aren't any more questions, thank you very much for joining me. Our next session coming up is our Proven CRM, Streamlining Your Sales Efforts.